Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host, Velvet Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Beyond the Gates. This is season 2, episodes 11 through 15. I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also subscribe, and you can leave your comments below. Now, let's get into these week's episodes. Okay, so we really did have an interesting week, y'all. Actually better than what the previews was giving us. And there's a lot. We got to talk about Chelsea. We got to talk a little bit about Kat, Danny. And of course, Anita Baby. If y'all saw Friday's episode, you saw that cliffhanger. And then, certain folks was getting busy. Hey. Let's get to it. All right, so we pick up where we left off on Friday with Jacob toasting at the club to Chelsea and Danny. Or Naomi. Danny wants to touch bases with Nicole to let her know both Chelsea and Naomi are 100% in the clear. She suggests that they order more champagne before heading to the lobby. Chelsea tells Naomi just how happy she is they both beat the odds. And Haley wants to take Bill home and serve him a great big cup of tea with her special ingredients. What are those? Or what is that? Love. Bill is tickled by his wife, but wants to stick around the club to celebrate with the girls. She sees him staring at Danny and heaves a frustrated sigh. Bill moves over to Danny, and they both admit how thankful they are their babies are healthy and safe. Bill wants Danny to stay focused on her own health and promises to do what he can to support her. Just then, Haley locks Bill's arm and says that she feels the same, despite all they've been through. Lord, the thirst is real, and the attention is not on you, Haley. And it's so crazy. If you're just in it to kill him and get the money, I just don't understand why you go into these jealous fits. If this was just for the show, as far as in front of him, cool, but you do that even in secret too. So I'm really just confused as to what exactly you want out of Bill, besides him being a mark for you. I will also say it's weird that you have just focused on T to try to poison him, because you don't think anyone's going to keep getting suspicious or will start getting suspicious of you, lady? Because that's just quite crazy. T. Come on. Like, switch it up. You can't put it in his food at all. Jacob is going on about work stories as Chelsea and Naomi can't be bothered to listen. That's the nerd in Jabari. Jacob. Chelsea notes how bored she is and hopes her mother and Haley will liven things up by going at it. Chelsea is disappointed and wants to find another location that's a little bit more popping. She asks Naomi if she wants to join, but the answer is no. Naomi tells Jacob she feels better now that she knows her test results and how life will be moving forward. Jacob gets it, but will never stop checking in on her. Look, all I can say is that this is the beginning of the end of Jacob and Naomi. Later, Naomi wants to keep the party going and engages her husband in a very public kiss. She tells her mother and Andre they need to go and head off. Andre sees Naomi's phone and runs off to try to catch the disappearing duo. You think he's going to see what's on there? Just then, I don't know if the test results are on her screen, but whatever. But just then, Bill joins Danny, and both Andre and Haley shoot each other annoyed looks. Andre arrives on the scene and immediately annoys Bill and thrills Haley. Bill quickly heads to the lobby to make a call with Haley following close behind. Both Andre and Danny are tickled by the turn of events, and Chelsea hits up her mother, and Danny says that she's headed over to the hospital to surprise Madison with the good news. Nicole runs into Andre at the coffee shop, and Andre is on the way to the club, but Nicole is going to let the Hamiltons have the celebration and meet up with Vanessa. A little later, Vanessa is taking selfies with Leslie when Leslie scares the fool out of her. They chat a bit when Vanessa mentions Joey's amazing gesture with the clinic, and Leslie doesn't get it and simply says that the free clinic will be helping folks for years to come. Vanessa specifically mentions naming it after Doug, which leaves Leslie less than thrilled. Nicole and Vanessa connect and discuss Deanna, who still doesn't want to come home to visit her mother. I'm ready for that heifer to come, because I want her to cause a bunch of mess, and I think that she is the one. I think that is Vanessa's child, if you know what I mean. Nicole tries to explain Deanna's perspective and says Vanessa's doing everything she can to support her daughter. Nicole and Vanessa shift the discussing to their upcoming double date. Vanessa ribs her friend about Carlton, who Nicole says is still her plus one. Vanessa notes how smitten and loyal Carlton seems to be, but Nicole says that she knows he wants more, which gives her pause. With that, Vanessa hands her friend a brothel card, saying there are more than enough men who will be willing to show her some strings-free attention. Nicole can't believe Vanessa is trying to get her to use the escort service, which Vanessa was once so fond of. But you know your friend, and you know that was a part. You're single now. What? Vanessa updates her friend, and Nicole is astounded to learn her friend is now running the place. Nicole arrives at the hospital and immediately runs into Carlton chatting with Kyle. Kyle is back, y'all. Carlton introduces Nicole and is surprised to learn Kyle was the man who escorted Nicole to Winterfest. Joey tries and fails to blackmail Leslie. Let's get into that. Next thing you know, Leslie is at Joey's gambling pit drinking his private stash. Mr. Armstrong arrives and snatches the glass from her hand. She immediately mentions that what Vanessa said about naming her clinic after Doug. Joey says there will be a plaque outside the free clinic noting it's in memory of Doug McBride, and says Bill is writing up the contract. Leslie says she ain't signing squat, originating from the law offices of Bill Hamilton. She's always going to have it out for Bill. With that, Joey lays down a thumb drive and says that it's his ace in the hole. So it looks like Joey's got some stuff on Leslie, probably what we've needed so far in regards to nailing Leslie, and hopefully it gets exposed. Joey shows his hand on his tablet, but Leslie is unimpressed. She says a little thing like that won't hold her back. Leslie says nothing will be stopping the Leslie Thomas Outreach Project. Joey isn't so sure and tosses the thumb drive at her to make sure she remembers what he has on her. Leslie doesn't care and heads out the door, leaving Joey shaking his head. She then goes to the country club, downs a shot, orders another, and spies Bill across the room. Haley purposely spills a drink, and she heads off to ask for a cleanup, which prompts Danny and Andre to exit. Haley stands next to Leslie, who is more than ready to offer up her opinion on Satan's cousin. She notes how Bill seems to be making them both all kinds of miserable and suggests that they work together to make him feel a little pain. Leslie continues, Haley can't play the innocent and genuine with her and knows she has a running long game where her husband is concerned. Leslie's been picking up on this girl forever and a day, and she's trying to deny it, and obviously they're eventually going to connect, Leslie and Haley, and I'm interested to see what happens. All right, so Kyle enters Garland Memorial on the phone and in a hurry, walking right past an annoyed Shanice. The duo connects at the station and admits that they both had a bit of a day. He asks about Nicole, and Shanice says that she hasn't been seen all day. They flirt cute a bit before Kyle asks for some intel on a doctor. Shanice assumes it's Nicole, but he says he got more than enough information after Winterfest. Shanice gossip antennas rises when Kyle says that he isn't the type of boy to give a massage in the office intel. Kyle says that he is looking for some information on Dr. Fitzgerald. Shanice wonders why he's inquiring about Carlton, as she notes they have something or someone in common. Just then, Carlton arrives as they are consulting one another. As they walk off, Shanice notes just how awkward it's about to get around there. Madison is tooting her own horn to Shanice when Madison arrives on the scene, and Chelsea is thrilled to hear about Madison's lecture and shares her own good news about the BRCA variant. She wants them to celebrate, and Madison says they can go somewhere for cocktails. Chelsea suggests the start at Uptown. And then she said, the start? She said, yeah, we're just going to take things as they are, and we're going to flow with the program here. And the duo heads out. Later, Naomi and Jacob arrive home and immediately get down to business. Chelsea's behavior sets off Madison's radar. They arrive at Uptown and run into Malik. Madison thinks they model together, but Chelsea says Malik used to supply her with party favors, leading him to hand off a free sample and saying that there's more where that came from. basically pill popping. That's what Chelsea's background is while in her modeling days. Madison can't believe her girlfriend would take random pills from a dealer and goes into all the ways drugs can impact folks. Chelsea is way less than interested as she is trying to live her best, most present life. She wishes Madison could just chill and join in her fun. She's a doctor, a professional. Why in the world is she just gonna stand by and allow people to take certain type of drugs in front of her? Like, really think a little bit, Chelsea. All right, so Vanessa arrives at the gambling pit to see Joey, and the two quickly get all kinds of sexy before they can get on the table and have sex. Vanessa mentions Leslie, which kills Joey's mood. Just then, Vanessa gets a call from one of her client's husbands. He is furious and tells Vanessa to stop her male hooker business or his marital problems will become her legal issues. Joey is beyond annoyed and says that he will handle the man, and Vanessa refuses to let him ride to her rescue and insists that she will handle her own business. Okay, Vanessa, handling your business. But yeah, Monday was quite an exciting day for me, Chelsea shocked me. She's going to get into something later on in this week when she starts talking with Kat about it, and it's going to be, to me, revealing, because it's like, wait a minute, now, what's going on here? All right, so the next day, or the next episode, we are with the Richardsons. The brownstone is chock full of family when Tyrell comes downstairs ready for a new tuxedo. Smitty and Martin question when Samantha jumps in and says that it's all about Jessica and the cotillion. Martin wonders if he is making up his own mind or being swayed by Jessica to attend. Smitty says that if he commits to it, he must treat the event with respect. I'm glad that they do that instead of just allowing people to just, I love that, keeping them grounded and look, we're going to be intentional in everything that we do. Don't come up in here causing a disturbance and all that stuff. If you commit to something, commit to it with your heart and not all this other stuff. I respect that. They all want to know why he and Jessica would attend if they hated the idea of the event so much. Tyrell admits Jessica's father is pushing her, and Samantha adds that she thinks it will look good on her college application because she already put that on her college application. So it's basically, you got to go through with it. Martin tries to engage Smitty about Tyrell, but he's busy on his phone. Martin inquires, and Smitty says that he's toying around with the new story, but promises it's only another puff piece. Okay, here we go to line again between the Richardsons. Jacob's gonna fight for his undercover gig. Jacob jumps on Marcel when he arrives late to work. He immediately wonders how Marcel is dressed so sharp. Further, he notices the lipstick on his collar and can't believe his ex-partner actually hooked up with Leslie Thomas. Marcel says the police didn't prove Leslie did anything wrong, so she's innocent. And he suggests that he tends to his own wife before meddling in his business. I mean, I can't fight up against him on that. I can't. Elon walks in and asks Jacob where they are on the tip he got. Marcel questions the situation, and Jacob says while Marcel was getting busy with Leslie, he was making waves on the department's latest case. Elon informs Marcel that Jacob has a lead on an organized crime ring that has infiltrated the area. He gets more details, and Marcel is stunned. They are now chasing vampires in the form of black market plasma ring. Jacob says that it's $1 billion industry, and Marcel talks about going undercover. Jacob pipes up saying his dad already has the right man for the job, him. They all get heated when Jacob asks to be given a chance. Marcel thinks that he is a shoo-in, but Elon says that he's putting his son in. Jacob is excited, but Elon says that he needs to think about what this assignment might cost him, as it's a 24/7 type of job, and it could cost him everything. So the writers are just letting us know in regards to the foolishness that Naomi got going on, and now with Jacob and this job really are pushing them or pulling them apart. Carlton arrives at the office, Nicole's office, with a gift of theater tickets. She quickly realizes this whole thing is about Kyle. Since he knows all about this Winterfest thing, now he thinks he needs to apply pressure to get her to not think about Kyle. She quickly realizes that Carlton would like to show her what it's like to spend the evening with a real leading man. Okay. Nicole rightfully thinks Carlton is jealous, and he admits to it, but says that he has waited too long to lose his chance with her. That's true. Nicole says that she's exploring her life and what works for her, but that doesn't necessarily equate to monogamy. I agree with her. Carlton gets it and asks if she is feeling Kyle. Nicole admits going out with someone who had no knowledge of her marriage was refreshing. We're all saying that. And notes the chemistry. That being said, there is a connection and history with Carlton which differs from Kyle. Before they can kiss, Kat storms in saying her mother needs to school her ex-husband on how he can and can't speak to her. Carlton decides to exit and kisses Nicole before heading out. But before I can get to this Kat and Nicole thing, I got to find... Okay. Kat had called Ted and needed to meet with him immediately. Both of them are at Orphagene's. And she is in no mood as she immediately asks why her father brought her half-sister's trifling behind all up in her family business. Ted says that Kat and Eva may eventually need each other. Here we go. That's another indication. We already had Eva saying it, and now Ted saying it. I know the writers are going to set up something to where Eva's going to have to come to Kat's rescue. But she isn't buying it. They're buying the family BS he's selling. Kat says that Eva is Ted's spawn and is as cancerous as the gene that has her own family in its grip. Ted says that he is done apologizing. He has tried to reason and done everything he can to make up for the hurt he's caused. Have you? Just saying. Do y'all think that? Y'all let me know in the comments. He will not live with his head down forever. Ted says that Kat is grown and needs to act like it. Eva is a gift, just like Kat and Martin. And Kat can't believe that he loves Eva the same as her. The love her father has belongs to her and Martin, not Eva. I mean, that's kind of... I'm Team Kat, but you can't just say that. That is still his child. I'm sorry. Y'all can just keep her as illegitimate as you want to, but yeah. But that's not uncommon. A lot of folks don't like their half-siblings. I'm just saying. Kat can't look at her father, and Ted says that he feels the same. Well, the next time you need somebody, well, he didn't need nobody. The next time during Christmas, Kat, don't show up for him. Let him be alone and eat his pizza. Shanice is on her way anyway, so. With that, she exits. You know that Carlton had left, which is interesting. We gotta go back up. Never mind. Let me go back up. Lord Jesus. So, remember I said the Kat showed up at Nicole. This is after meeting with Ted, and they had this blowout. Kat was reading him down. I'll just say that much. However, Ted still gave some good rebuttals. I will say that much. Nicole asked Kat for details about her fatherly encounter. Kat simplifies everything, saying her dad is taking Eva's side when the entire family is dealing with cancer. Nicole simply says Ted is right, without further explanation. She tells Kat to stop holding on to all of her resentment and refuses to let her daughter dim her own light. I can't say Nicole wasn't wrong, even though I'm Team Kat. I still think that Kat can feel the way that she feels and not have to feel like, oh, she's just so wrong. No, she's not, especially when she's been so right. At the hospital, Naomi arrives at the nurse's station and Shanice immediately engages. Just then, Anita's doctor walks up and Naomi asks if she has a minute to chat. With that, they sit. Afterwards, Shanice gets a call from Ted, who is hanging at Orphagene's. He says that the restaurant they were planning to go to is closed. He suggested they go to the country club, which freaks out Shanice, as it's the home of the Duprees. Ted says that they are just like everyone, but Shanice thinks they'll run into Nicole, which doesn't thrill her. So Ted ends up sweet-talking Shanice, who eventually relents. Naomi and the good doctor take a seat where she admits she tested positive for the BRCA gene. She says that she is having a hard time wrapping her head about what to do. The good doctor offers up some facts and refers her to a solid genetics counselor and a social worker. Just then, Naomi gets a text from Jacob as he needs some support. The doctor won't tell Naomi what to do, but thinks Naomi should consider at least telling one member of her family. Naomi goes through all the people that she could possibly tell, but is unwilling to reveal to anyone. Just then, Nicole walks up and is thrilled to see her niece. The good doctor covers for Naomi, saying that she was picking her brain about a case. and Naomi quickly makes excuses and exits. Nicole walks up, hoping to tell Shanice walks up, hoping to tell Nicole about her upcoming date with Ted. Just then, Nicole gets a call about a case in the ER. Shanice tells her to go and take care of business, but clearly upset she didn't get to clear the air. At this point, Carlton arrives and sits down with Ted. They try to shoot the ish, but can't quite get beyond the Nicole of it all. Ted says not wanting to punch Carlton is a nice bit of progress. They chat a bit before Ted says that he has a date, which leads them to talking about Nicole and the Kyle of it all. Ted says that he seems like a good guy, and they have a bit of a laugh poking fun at Kyle, K-I-A-L. Later, Ted, he arrives at the country club to find a very guzzied up Shanice. She says that she tried to speak with Nicole, but didn't have the chance. Shanice is freaking out about the venue, but Ted says that he just wants to take all of her in. Just then, Anastasia, she's about to get red, y'all, walks up to make light of Ted trading in his Dupree Thoroughbred for an untamed Mustang. Shanice is having none of it and asking Antiques Roadshow if she was just compared to a wild horse. Ted almost gets tickled as Shanice reads the club gossip for filth. After the old nag storms off, Ted and Shanice have a good laugh. Ted thinks Shanice can handle herself in any room before they can sit down. Nicole and Carlton walk in. Nicole realizes what Shanice wanted to talk to her about. Later on, she goes to her brothers and brother-in-law's home. He immediately notes her mood and assumes it's about Eva. He questions her a bit, and Kat says that she is exhausted with herself. Kat, if you're exhausted with yourself, I'm not saying give in. I think you have to come up with a different game plan at how to handle yourself with this whole Eva situation. Martin gets all kinds of snarky, leading to a bit of a pillow fight. Just then, Samantha walks downstairs and Kat says that she's actually there to deliver Deb lessons. They chat a bit, which leads Samantha trying to help Kat get beyond the Eva of it all. Just then, Smitty gets a call and quickly exits. Sam's suggestions are practical and can be logical if she wants to get over this whole thing with Eva. Meaning, put yourself in her shoes, and she said, no, I won't do that. Well, put yourself in someone else's shoes that actually likes Eva, and they see something different in them. Do it like a Freaky Friday type of situation. Freaky Friday, that starred Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. That they did actually, not a reboot, they did a sequel just recently last year. Yeah. So shout out to both of them. Not to Lindsay Lohan, daddy though. Anyways, yeah. Ugh. I don't think that Kat is still the villain in all of this. I don't care what people think and want to say about her. She has her reasons. Just everyone else is willing to give her a chance. Why? I don't know. But we got to go with it, unfortunately. Oh. At the country club, Ted proudly leads his date to the other table, which includes Shanice's favorite flowers and a bottle of champagne. As Ted assures Shanice that she's more than just a rebound from his marriage, Nicole and Carlton enjoy some sexual charged flirting at their own table. Now, I do want to make this known, when first Nicole, Carlton, Ted, and Shanice encountered each other, there was this smirk on Ted's face like, now I get to rub it in to you, and I'm dating, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I didn't like that, because it feels like now, Ted, you're up to something, and you're not really treating Shanice genuinely. Though they both play it cool, Ted and Nicole can't help but to eye each other. I don't know what this means in the future, if they're actually going to spin the block later on in the day or later on in the year, who knows. But in the lobby, Chelsea complains to Kat about Madison acting like her mother over her casual drug use. No, ma'am. No. Kat points out that Madison has never seen her wild and spontaneous side. Chelsea admits that she has suppressed parts of herself in favor of being the perfect partner. So you brought your representative to the relationship. People are very, they will do that. They will do that. Not just you, Chelsea, but people will do that, and you're looking at them like, what's happening here? Why are we doing this right now? Chelsea, I would really fix that, and I think you need to come to Madison for real. I don't know if her and Madison can actually work, because we know how Madison is. Madison isn't changing like that. And you can't tell someone to accept your occasional drug habit. You can find other ways to be wild. Now, Madison is not too spontaneous. I think you can lead her into certain things, but not drugs. Not drugs. At the office, Thomas presents Bill with his defense for Lynette. Since it's after hours, Bill reminds him not to neglect his personal life. Thomas points out that Bill's doing the same thing, which does not go over well with the boss. Once Thomas leaves for takeout, Danny comes by with some of Bill's favorite food to celebrate their daughter's good health. Why? In an Orphagene's booth, Haley agrees to suggest that Bill and Thomas take a cash-strapped Lynette case pro bono. Near the counter, Lance grabs Vanessa's wrist. Lance is the husband that already was cussing her out on the phone. So now he's come to get out his frustrations. Randy arrives just in time to scare him off, and then he calls Joey to fill him in. Randy sits with an impatient Haley, and since Bill's life insurance will pay out no matter the cause of death, Haley warns Randy that if her tea doesn't put Bill in the ground, you will. I don't know if that means put Randy in the ground, or Randy's going to have to put Bill in the ground. Elon pays Joey a visit at the casino to warn him against being in the red market blood plasma game. While Joey has no involvement with human blood, he has heard whispers that ring is run by the Impaler. He advises Elon to warn Jacob that the guy is not to be underestimated. Joey confronts Vanessa about her wrist when she comes to the casino, and she insists that she had Lance under her control. No, you didn't. But Joey doesn't think that she should have had handled it at all. This is why he didn't want her involved in his businesses in the first place. Jacob buys Smitty a drink at the country club bar to thank him for the tip about the blood plasma ring. It could be a case that catapults him from his father's shadow. Smitty wants in on the investigation and wears Jacob down until he agrees. A suspicious Kat and Chelsea approach, wondering what they're up to. The men play it off as a casual hang, complete with an awkward in-law handshake, because they're trying to act like, oh, we were here, we were at the gym and all that. Well, where are your gym bags at? They're in the locker room. Where's your water bottles? Back there's dude. We always hang out, basically. It was crazy. But Kat doesn't buy it. It looks like Kat's about to get into this investigation where she belongs. Ooh. Later on, Kat ends up taking one of the glasses that both Jacob and Smitty was drinking in. I would like to say it was Jacob's, and she drinks it and finds out that it was a vodka tonic. Of course, you don't normally drink vodka tonic if you just came from the gym. I'm hoping it was Jacob's glass. Kat, did you like that backwash? Don't mind me, y'all. Don't mind me. You know me and what I think about Jacob and Kat. Like, they really should be together. Of course, backwash is nasty. At home, Nicole uneasily realizes that she hasn't been with anyone since Ted. But that doesn't stop her from pulling Carlton in for a passionate kiss. They trade their carpet picnic in for something a little bit more racier in front of the fire. Things get steamy in Ted's hotel room as well, and he and Shanice end up in bed. Tell me something good. They both had something going on. They did the horizontal polka, as Steve Urkel would say. In Bill's office, the exes discuss Danny's potential getting cancer. She worries that she could lose Andre if she loses her beauty. That's wow. Even Bill doesn't believe Andre is that kind of a guy who would leave his wife with cancer. Danny agrees, but worries his passion for her will turn to pity. You decided to confide in the person that actually did that to you. Traded you in for a younger person. Not saying that you're ugly, Danny, but look, he still went to someone fairly, very young. Your daughter's age. When Bill assures her nothing could dim her light, Danny leans in for a kiss. She pulls away guilt-ridden, and they agreed it stays between them. However, I laughed like Whitney Houston there. Bill spots a returning Tomas lurking in the window. Well, it's heating up, y'all. So Miss Daniela can't seem to just do things right. Because if Andre did a morsel of what she's trying to do, yet again, being reckless, it would be lights out, you know? So I wish Danny hadn't made that type of exchange. Jacob and Naomi, this is the next episode, chatting about cancer at Orphan Genes. They get into his important new case before Naomi says that she is meeting up with their therapist. Jacob says that he can stay, but Naomi says that it's all good. Just then, Isaiah arrives, and Naomi uses the opportunity to change the subject by asking about his new job. The conversation shifts to the Elon of it all and how he still doesn't trust Jacob. How he doesn't trust Jacob? Wait, what? That he doesn't trust him no matter what he does. It's not Jacob that's supposed to be there. It's Isaiah. Elon does not trust him. Wait, what? On how he doesn't trust Jacob no matter what he does. I don't know what I was... Forgive me. Naomi asks about his new case, but Jacob says that he's practically had to beg for it. Isaiah doesn't have too many kind words for his father, but notes how much love he has for Jacob. Just then, Jacob mentions his upcoming undercover work before quickly making his exit. Danny arrives. Danny arrives again back at Bill's, and he's annoyed by her presence. He says Tomas saw their kiss the night before, but he is taking care of it. She goes on about how Bill has it all. The devoted, waiting at home wife, while the only person he's concerned about is the one who can bring his world crashing down. Bill gets up to throw her out, but ends up kissing Danny on top of the desk. Just then, Tomas pulls Bill out of his daydream state. So Bill had a daydream about kissing Danny. Danny actually kissed Bill. Bill goes on about how well Tomas has been doing at work, and Tomas knows what he is getting at and tells his boss he has no desire to jeopardize his job, either inside or outside the office. With that, Bill grabs 2 glasses with dark liquor to celebrate his promotion to junior partner. Basically, shut up about what you saw. Anita and Vernon are in their living room listening to Leslie's construction workers hard at work. He hands his beloved a book to make her upcoming chemotherapy appointment to be more tolerable. Vernon gets a little frisky with his wife, who says that she will be attending her session without him. Vernon doesn't want her to go alone, but she says his replacement has already been booked. Sharon arrives to accompany Anita to her chemotherapy appointment. Anita tells her husband that she has reserved a squash court for him and Martin, and the two embrace. Vernon tells Sharon to call him if anything is needed. I guess even while Anita's going through her thing, she doesn't want to be selfish and occupy his time, and that's why she set this up. I'm not going to be mad at it, but I just need Anita to let these folks take care of you. Please. But at least she brought in a proxy. Sharon knits as Anita gets her chemotherapy. She tries to stay positive, but Anita says that she needs to be able to speak honestly, as neither Vernon nor her family can take it. Sharon agrees to play a game of worst possible scenario. Anita has been looking into planning her own homegoing and is considering having her remains turned into a tree so her family and friends could come visit her. Sharon listens, then wonders how Vernon will feel when he discovers her late night internet searches. Then Anita talks about how she and Vernon have become so intertwined. She worries if she passes away, Vernon will soon follow. Sharon says their love transcends space and time and will not stop whether she lives or passes. That being said, Sharon promises not to ever let Vernon fall through the cracks. They continue to talk, and Sharon says that they will always be connected as they are sisters, and begins to sing as Anita closes her eyes. What is she sing? Why? Oh my Lord, I forgot the song. Whatever. I can't remember it. Why does my heart feel lonely? Oh my Lord. What is the song? I know this song. Whatever. It's the song I sing because I'm happy. That's what she was singing, but whatever. Later, Anita and Sharon return back to the mansion, and we'll get back to what's going on with that in a minute. Eva in Tide, did you see that marketing placement? Is hanging at her apartment when her mama arrives to talk strategy. Leslie says Valentine's Day is less than 3 weeks away and asks what Isaiah is planning. The only thing Leslie can offer up to Eva is a man and how to hold on to a man. Eva says they aren't getting too serious. They chat a bit more before Eva asks about Marcel. Leslie says that she's keeping her options open, leading Eva to wonder about her daddy. Leslie says that she and her teddy bear are friends for now, but will eventually be walking down the aisle. Eva quickly notes how her daddy is dating someone. Now this is the effed up stuff that I'll be talking about. Leslie just knows that two-faced Jezebel, Shanice, is all up on teddy bear. Eva reminds her mama how much better her life got after she stopped focusing on Tomas and moved forward. Leslie thinks Ted is her soulmate, but Eva pushes back, saying that she could ruin her friendship with her daddy if she heads to the hospital and causes a scene. Eva, you started this yet again. Remember, she was the one that encouraged, that told Leslie about Ted was drunk and he needed someone to be with her. And that's how Leslie and Ted slept together. And then you want to chastise Leslie after you done fed her the bone. It don't work like that either. Leslie, having ignored Eva's advice, shows up at Garland Memorial and tells Shanice to back off. Shanice says that she doesn't need to compete with a woman who had an affair with Ted decades before. Leslie says that she and Teddy created a life together, and Shanice will never be able to compete. I mean, I'm sure Shanice can get pregnant. Leslie threatens to drag her across the floor by her scalp, and Shanice threatens to call security. But Leslie makes her exit, but not before saying that she will take care of the mess up later. All I can say is, because she said that I'm going to get you and you won't see me coming. And then I added, you know what, I would have said if I was Shanice, well, I better be looking out for motorcycles. Let's talk about that. Okay, so Grayson and Ashley are giggling and enjoying their coffee break when Derek walks in and up to the table. He surprises them both by taking a seat and making everyone uncomfortable. He talks about his PT and then asks the couple what they had planned for the weekend. At Ashley's request, Grayson heads out to give her a minute. Ashley goes after Derek for ruining her date. She quickly deduces that he also tried to sabotage her by spilling tea to her mother. With that, she makes her exit, and I don't blame her, because what? You did do that, sir. And you're being manipulative, and you're quite creepy at this point. Whether I really like Ashley like that, you are being a creep. Ashley returns from her failed coffee date and tells Shanice about Derek. Shanice agrees to try and push Derek to find a woman before leaving the desk. Just then, Naomi arrives and quickly lets Ashley know about her BRCA gene test results. Ashley comforts her friend, and Naomi says that she's still processing, but hasn't told Jacob nor the rest of her family. She asks her friend to keep her secret, but Ashley wonders why she's keeping folks in the dark. Naomi explains her reasons for staying quiet and says that her news will have to wait until Jacob and her family are more settled. They'll never be settled, ma'am. It's just a gene. But I don't feel like if Naomi's on next week, I'm probably not going to discuss it because I'm just going to be saying the same thing. Danny meets up with Pamela at Uptown, and they embrace and enjoy a celebration of Naomi and Chelsea being BRCA-free. Pamela inquires about Danny's evening, and her evasive tone turns into an admission she saw Bill. Danny describes the evening and how it ended up in a kiss. She promises Pamela it was a one and done, but her friend is clearly worried Danny is headed down a slippery slope. And we know that. Danny knows Bill leaving allowed her to be with Andre, and the man she always deserved. Pamela agrees and warns her not to let Bill ruin it. Mona and Jan are across the restaurant talking about Ashley's new man. and she can't believe her daughter is jumping into a fling with a man she doesn't know. Mona asks her for details when Jan says that it was Derek who told her about Ashley's new beau. Mona indicates the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Jan says that there's a big difference, as her daughter is on the rebound and her decisions are currently scaring her, saying that, oh, since she's been single for so long and you meet somebody on a cruise. Jan, Mona's correct. Mona's correct. Haven't you watched Lifetime? Danny and Pamela get into talking about the ins and outs of their modeling firm, and they have a new campaign which requires a striking man. Just then, Isaiah walks in and catches Pamela's attention. Danny says that he is Jacob's brother, who just returned to town. Just as they get ready to go ask him, Eva walks in. Danny promises to track him down later to make a pitch. As I said earlier, that Anita and Sharon, they return back to the mansion. And as they are reporting the day's events, Anita falls out. Now, I've read the spoilers on next week. It says that Anita's going to have to deal with the loss. I think that loss is her hair. If you've seen any photos, you may have saw that Tamara Tooney, who plays Anita, was now wearing her real hair. Now, Tamara Tooney, she has her own hair, full head of hair, but she did cut it into a more short style. But I saw a picture where it looked like she was filming scenes and having to have this short cut. So she's going to be losing that long, luxurious hair. So it's going to be interesting. Next week, if you read all the spoilers, it was pretty good. But y'all tell me what y'all thought about this week. Sorry for the flip-ups, the slip-ups and all that stuff. You know. But I do appreciate you all for coming to my channel. Like, comment, subscribe. And until the next one, peace.